They say the happiest couples hide the darkest secrets. And if you looked at me and Melissa from the outside, you'd think we were the American dream. 10 years married. A beautiful suburban home in Charlotte, North Carolina. 2 kids. A golden retriever. Matching coffee mugs. Even our arguments looked rehearsed, clean, civil, and over by bedtime. But the night it all began. I swear I felt something in my gut. Something was off. I just couldn't name it yet. It was 11:23 p.m. Melissa's phone lit up on the nightstand not once, but 3 times. She was asleep. Or at least, she pretended to be. I glanced at the screen. Unknown caller. Then again. And again. On the 3rd ring, she rolled over fast, snatched the phone, and walked out of the room barefoot. No explanation. No glance. Just a low whisper down the hall and a closed bathroom door. My chest tightened. I stared at the ceiling fan spinning slow like it was mocking me. I should have trusted my instincts right then. A few minutes later, she came back in, forced a smile like it was glued to her face. Work stuff, she muttered, climbing back into bed like nothing happened. At 11:30 p.m.? Melissa was a dental hygienist. No patient calls her at midnight unless someone's molar just exploded. I didn't say a word. Just nodded. But inside? My mind was already racing 100 miles an hour. The next morning, she was overly sweet. Pancakes, bacon, fresh squeezed orange juice. That was her playbook. When Melissa wanted to distract me, she went full step-forward wife. I tried to act normal. But something was already broken. Not between us, in me. I opened her laptop when she went to shower. Not proud of it, but I needed answers. No weird emails. No open tabs. Nothing obvious. But then I checked the trash folder. And there it was. Can't stop thinking about last weekend. You taste like sin. Let's do it again before he finds out. No name. No signature. Just 3 sentences in a deleted message. My hands went cold. I copied the email address. It was a random Gmail account, didn't match anyone we knew. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely hear the shower running anymore. Was it a mistake? Spam? Some joke? Then I checked her calendar. Friday, girls' night, wine and spa, 8 p.m. That was last weekend. I remember now. She came home at 2:17 a.m., claiming they got stuck in traffic and played Cards Against Humanity till late. I bought the story because I wanted to. But now? It all looked like a setup. That night, I installed a silent tracker on her phone. Again, not proud. But when your wife says I love you while erasing messages from someone who says she tastes like sin, you stop playing by the marriage rulebook. Over the next 48 hours, I watched everything. Her GPS location. Incoming calls. Deleted texts. Even audio recordings from the mic when she was in public. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't blink unless I had to. Then came Thursday night. She told me she had a late shift because a coworker got sick. Said she'd be home by 10. At 9:42 p.m., her location pinged not at the dental office, but a small, rundown motel 15 minutes outside the city. I watched her phone stay still in that room for 57 minutes. No movement. No Uber. No DoorDash. Just her. And whoever else was in there. At 10:39 p.m., her phone moved. Out of the building. Into a car. Back on the highway toward home. She walked in at 11:03 p.m. with a Subway bag in her hand, humming a song I'd never heard her sing before. Sorry, I'm late. Got you something, she said, tossing the sandwich onto the table like she'd just been to a PTA meeting. And just like that, I realized. She wasn't hiding it because she was scared. She was hiding it because she was comfortable. But here's the twist, the real twist. That Gmail account? I replied to it, pretending to be her. Just one simple sentence. Same place tomorrow night? The response came in less than 30 seconds. Can't wait. Same room. Same time. Don't wear anything. And that's when I made my plan. Not to confront. Not to argue. But to watch. If she was going to cheat again, she wouldn't know I was there. The next day felt like walking through fog. Melissa acted normal. Too normal. She made jokes at breakfast. Sent me TikToks. Called me babe 3 times before noon. I responded with the same old smile. The one she'd known for 10 years. But inside, my blood was lava. I called in sick from work and drove out to the motel. Room 214. The same one from her phone logs the night before. It was one of those roadside motels where the O in the neon sign flickered like it was dying. I parked in the lot across the street, windows down, engine off, heart racing. At 7:47 p.m., her phone pinged at a gas station 2 blocks away. By 8:01, she pulled into the motel lot. She didn't hesitate. Didn't look around. Didn't even check her phone. She walked straight into room 214 like she'd done it 100 times. And then, silence. I waited 20 minutes. Then got out of my car and walked toward the back alley, where the utility entrance was. I'd come earlier during the day and paid the front desk guy $100 to give me access to the maintenance hallway behind the guest rooms. One thin wall separated me from her. I pressed my ear to the plaster. At first, just muffled talking. A man's voice. Low. Confident. Then laughter. Then, moaning. And not the kind that leaves room for doubt. I felt my chest collapse inward. It was real. My wife, the woman I kissed every morning, the one who helped pick out our baby's crib, was on the other side of this wall making sounds I hadn't heard in years. And not for me. I didn't cry. Didn't even shake. I just froze. Until I heard something that made me lean in closer. The guy said, "He'll never know. You're too good at lying." She laughed. That same giggle she used to do when she was drunk off white wine. Then she whispered. Honestly, sometimes I think I'd rather him find out. Just so I don't have to fake it anymore. My world tilted sideways. They stayed in there for 58 minutes. I recorded the audio through the wall. Not because I wanted to relive it. But because I needed proof. Not for court. Not even for revenge. For me. Because when you love someone that deeply, and they betray you that cleanly, your brain tries to tell you it didn't happen. You doubt yourself. You rewrite it. You pretend. I wasn't going to pretend anymore. At 9:12 p.m., she left the room first. Hair messy. Shirt inside out. She didn't even notice me as she walked to her car. But I noticed something in her eyes. She smiled. Not the fake one she used at home. But a real one. Like a teenager sneaking out of a house party. Then he walked out. The man. He was older than I expected. Maybe mid-40s. Athletic. Confident. Dressed like a personal trainer. He lit a cigarette and looked around like he owned the place. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just sex. This was a fantasy. A second life. And I wasn't in it. I followed her car home. She pulled into our driveway at 9:37 p.m. Came in carrying a CVS bag. Probably picked up a toothbrush or some gum to cover her tracks. She walked in and said the words that broke me. Hey babe. Miss me? I looked at her. Really looked at her. And all I said was, you have no idea. She kissed me on the cheek like it was just another Thursday. And I realized something. She wasn't scared I'd find out. She was scared I'd never care enough to look. I stayed quiet for the next 2 days. But I was planning something. Because I wasn't going to lose everything just because she couldn't stay faithful. If she wanted to live a double life, I'd make sure everyone saw it crash. And the first person I planned to bring into the loop was her best friend. Her name was Jenna, Melissa's best friend since high school. They did everything together. Brunch every Saturday. Wine nights every second Friday. Spa trips once a month. Melissa always said Jenna was ride or die. So, if anyone knew what Melissa was really doing, it was her. But here's the thing about Jenna. She liked me. And not just in a friendly, brother-in-law kind of way. She once told me at a Christmas party, after one too many sangrias, "If Melissa ever messes this up, I swear to God, I'll take your side." Time to see if she meant it. I texted her. Me, "Hey Jenna. Need to talk. Just us." She replied instantly. "Jenna, everything okay?" Me, "Depends on how honest you're willing to be." We met that night at a coffee shop downtown. Neutral territory. Bright lights. Public enough that nobody could yell or cry without people staring. She showed up in leggings and a hoodie, her hair in a messy bun, no makeup. She looked nervous. Guilty. I slid the phone across the table. The audio clip from the motel room was queued up. She hesitated, then tapped play. 30 seconds in, she put her hand to her mouth. A minute later, she pushed the phone back. "Jesus Christ," she whispered. I thought they stopped. They. So she knew. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't slam the table. I just asked one question. "How long has it been going on?" Jenna looked down at her latte like the foam could save her. 3 months, she said. Maybe 4. My heart dropped. I'd only known for 3 days. I leaned back. "And you just said nothing?" Jenna's voice cracked. I begged her to stop. Told her she was insane. But she kept saying the same thing. "What?" She said you stopped looking at her like a woman. That you were too busy. Too safe. That this guy made her feel wanted again. I wanted to scream. Wanted to throw the coffee across the wall. But I didn't. Because that's how she justified it? I stared at Jenna. She started crying. Not dramatic sobbing, just silent tears sliding down her face. I didn't know it was this serious. I thought it was just a fling. "I swear," she said. But I wasn't sure what was worse anymore. The affair. Or the fact that her best friend watched it happen like it was a TV show. Then Jenna leaned forward and whispered something that made my stomach twist. "There's something else you don't know." I stayed silent. She looked around and then said it. "He's married." I blinked. "Who?" "The guy she's seeing. His name's Trey. He's married. Wife. Kids. The whole thing." Melissa knew, didn't care. Said she liked the danger. My blood turned to ice. Now it wasn't just betrayal. It was war. I left the coffee shop with a new plan. No more hiding. No more trackers. I was going to find this Trey. And I was going to tell his wife everything. Because if Melissa wanted to burn our life down, she wasn't doing it alone. 2 days later, I found him. Thanks to Jenna, I had his full name, Trey Collins. Quick search. Boom. His LinkedIn said he was a fitness coach. Lived in Mooresville. Had a private Instagram, but his wife didn't. Her name was Hannah Collins. 2 kids. Big house. Tons of family selfies and motivational quotes like, "Strong marriages are built on trust." The irony nearly killed me. I created a burner Instagram account and messaged her. Me, "Hi, Hannah. I know this is going to sound insane, but I think we need to talk. It's about your husband. She didn't respond for an hour. Then finally, Hannah, who is this? Me, someone whose wife has been sleeping with your husband for the past 4 months. The dots appeared for a full minute before she replied. Hannah, tell me everything. We agreed to meet the next evening. And what happened in that cafe? Would change everything. The cafe was a small place in Huntersville. Cozy. Quiet. A place where secrets could survive the noise. I got there early. Sat facing the door. Every muscle in my body on edge. At 6:02 p.m., she walked in. Hannah Collins. Tall. Blonde. Mid-30s. She looked exactly like the pictures on Instagram, only now with eyes that had seen too much. She walked up slowly, holding her purse like a weapon she might need to swing. You're him, she asked, voice flat. Yeah, I said. I'm Melissa's husband. She sat down. Didn't order anything. Just stared straight into me. Prove it. I slid the phone across the table. Pressed play. It was the motel audio. Short version. 30 seconds. Just enough. Her hands clenched. Her eyes didn't blink. When it ended, she whispered. That's Trey's voice. And just like that, the wall collapsed. She told me everything. Trey had been distant lately. Distant in the way that wasn't just work stress. Late nights. Strange receipts. One night he came home smelling like someone else's shampoo. She confronted him once. He denied it. Made her feel insane. I thought I was going crazy, she said. I nodded. I knew that feeling too well. We spent the next hour trading evidence like spies. I gave her the motel dates from Melissa's GPS history. She matched them to Trey's calendar excuses, evening sessions with clients, workout seminars. She showed me photos of their kids. He missed his son's birthday dinner for one of those motel nights. He was in room 214 while his son was blowing out candles. That made me want to throw up. By the time we were done, Hannah was breathing like she just finished a marathon. Then she said something that made my jaw clench. He told me he wanted to fix our marriage. Said we should try for another baby. That's when I realized. This guy wasn't just cheating. He was playing house with 2 women. Lying to both. Gaslighting both. But here's the thing. Hannah wasn't the type to cry and crawl away. She looked at me with fire in her eyes and said, let's blow this whole thing up. We came up with a plan. Step 1, let them dig their own grave. Melissa and Trey were too comfortable. They thought they were invisible. So we gave them rope. I started working late. Hannah told Trey she was going to visit her sister in Asheville for the weekend. But really, we were watching them. Tracking their movements. Cross-checking hotel bookings. Building a timeline. A case. Every kiss, every lie, every motel swipe documented. Step 2, record the moment they fall. We knew Melissa had a routine. Every other Thursday. Same time. Same place. This time, we were ready. I booked the room right next to theirs. Hannah set up a hidden GoPro inside room 214 the night before, with the motel manager's help, another $200 well spent. They walked in. We watched it all on a laptop in my car. We didn't watch for pleasure. We watched for evidence. They laughed. Kissed. Stripped. Acted like no one in the world could touch them. Until they heard the knock. Step 3, the confrontation. Bang bang bang. Trey looked up, startled. Melissa froze, half naked. Another knock. Louder this time. Then Hannah's voice from the other side. Hi honey. Thought I'd surprise you. Trey went pale. Melissa's face drained of color. He grabbed his pants. She fumbled with her bra. Then came my voice. Open the door, Melissa. And for the first time in her life, she had no words. The silence after I knocked was louder than the knock itself. Inside room 214, chaos broke loose. I could hear clothes rustling, feet scrambling, curses whispered. Then Trey opened the door. Half-dressed, face flushed, eyes wide. Behind him stood Melissa, hair messy, shirt backwards, panic written all over her like a crime scene in motion. And then she saw me. Saw my eyes. Saw what I knew. Saw the look of a man whose world just burned down and watched who lit the match. She didn't say a word. Just froze. Hannah stood beside me. Phone in hand. Camera rolling. Trey stepped forward. Look, I can expel. Hannah cut him off like a blade. Don't say a word. He froze. I walked in. Melissa backed away like I was someone she didn't recognize. Maybe I wasn't anymore. Room 214, I said, softly. Every second Thursday. Motel receipts. GPS history. GoPro footage. Jenna. You made it real easy. She opened her mouth. But nothing came out. So I kept going. You told her I was boring? Too safe? Not exciting enough? That's your reason? Tyler, she finally said, voice breaking. It wasn't supposed to. To what? Happen? Last? Hurt? I shook my head. You broke me, Melissa. Not by cheating. But by doing it so casually. Like I didn't matter. Like we didn't matter. Tears welled up in her eyes. But she wasn't the victim here. Hannah stepped in now. Trey. You missed our son's birthday for this? You told me you were doing a fitness retreat. You were in this cheap motel, screwing someone else's wife. He tried to reach out. She stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't you dare. Then she turned to Melissa. And what she said next, I didn't expect. You're a mother too. How could you do this to my kids? Melissa covered her face. But Hannah wasn't done. I'm sending this video to my lawyer. Hope Trey's ready for supervised visits and alimony payments. You can keep him. He's yours now, broken and worthless. I looked at Melissa. And in that moment, I didn't see my wife. I saw a stranger in my home. A woman who shared my bed, kissed me goodbye in the mornings, smiled in family photos. All while plotting her escape behind my back. I want a divorce, I said. Effective immediately. She collapsed to her knees. Tyler, please. Don't throw away everything we built. We can fix this. I almost laughed. You threw it away. The moment you picked him. The moment you did it again. And again. And again. She sobbed. But I felt nothing. Not hate. Not rage. Just a cold, empty silence. We walked out. Left them there half naked, half destroyed. In the parking lot, Hannah turned to me and said, they deserve each other. I nodded. But deep down, I didn't feel like I'd won anything. 2 weeks later, divorce papers were filed. Melissa tried calling, texting, emailing. Jenna said she cried for days. Stopped going to work. Deleted her socials. But the damage was done. We were over. Then one night, I got a message from Hannah. Want to grab dinner sometime? Nothing serious. Just two people who got lied to. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then typed. Yeah. I'd like that. But there was one final twist. One I didn't see coming. And it started the day Melissa came back. Uninvited. Standing on my porch. With a secret. The knock on my door was soft at first. Then it came again. Louder. I wasn't sure if I should open it. If I should even care. But curiosity got the best of me. When I swung the door open, there she was. Melissa. Tears were streaming down her face. She looked like a ghost of the woman I once knew. Tyler, please, can we talk? I froze. I didn't want to hear her excuses. I didn't care about the reasons she had for destroying everything we built. But she wasn't leaving. So I stepped back, letting her in. We sat on opposite sides of the living room. The tension was unbearable. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she spoke. You deserve the truth. The whole truth. Not just pieces. I didn't know how to react. Was she trying to make amends? Or was this just another round of manipulation? The truth? I asked. What could possibly be left? Her hands trembled as she pulled out a small envelope from her bag. She handed it to me. I opened it slowly, unsure of what I was going to find. Inside was a DNA test result. I stared at the words. At the numbers. It didn't make sense. I looked at her. What is this? She swallowed hard before speaking. Trey, he's not the father. I froze. The room seemed to go quiet. The world stopped turning. What are you saying? I whispered. She didn't meet my eyes. It was never Trey. It was someone else. Someone from before. I couldn't breathe. My mind raced, and then I remembered. I remembered the night we went to that old cabin, years ago. The night I was distracted. The night she told me she was feeling lonely. The night she told me she'd done something foolish. Back then, I thought it was just a one-time thing. A moment of weakness. But this was no mistake. This wasn't a slip-up. This was calculated. It was a plan. I stood up, my heart pounding. I felt like I was going to pass out. You slept with someone else. Someone I didn't even know about. And you lied about it for years? She nodded slowly, her face crumpling in pain. I didn't know how to tell you, Tyler. I didn't think I could face you after that. I thought I could just move on. But the guilt, it ate me alive. It always did. And that's why I pushed Trey away. Because it wasn't his. And I couldn't keep lying. I took a deep breath, trying to hold it together. I looked at her, the woman I'd once trusted, the woman I thought was my everything. And now, she was just a stranger. There was no resolution. There was no happy ending. Just truth. Just broken hearts. She left after a few more minutes. Quietly. As if she had never existed in my life. 2 months later, I saw her again. She was walking down the street with Trey. They seemed happy. But I didn't care. I turned and walked in the opposite direction. Life moved on. Slowly. Painfully. I never did get that dinner with Hannah. Not yet, at least. But maybe, someday. Maybe things would be different. Or maybe they wouldn't. But the one thing I knew for sure was this. I was never going to let anyone treat me like that again.